Wow, that was beautiful and so inspiring to hear the panel of the two young people, Sneha and Rainer. Thank you, Marilyn, for moderating that exceptional panel. I'm so inspired by both of them, all three of you. And so am I not having to step in? My friend Angelo Balbi is coming to us from a ship outside of Bordeaux. And I was told his system crashed, but it looks like it hasn't crashed. He's in New York City. So I'm going to turn it over to my colleagues, Angelo, Jay, and Michelle.
Hi, all. Yeah, unfortunately, I have a little bit of issues with the Wi-Fi. We are broadcasting from a cruise line. We are just alongside Bordeaux, and unfortunately, the system. I hope it would have been a little bit more stable, but it just, I had a few issues. Anyway, my name is Angelo Balbi. I'm a professional hotelier working for a cruise line, Saga Cruises. Is a very little boutique luxury cruise line based in United Kingdom. Today, I will be the moderator for this upcoming panel. I'm very excited about to talk about East meet West because I live in both places, and will be a fantastic opportunity to focus on marketing brands and cross-culturally. With the two guests, we will have a few considerations about opportunity or any challenges that this very exciting subject and very contemporary subject could give you. Together with me today, I have Mr. Jay Soo, CEO from Moving Bits. Hi, Jay.
Hi, Angelo. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Jay. Hi, Ange.
Hi, and I have Michelle, she's the Director of Marketing and Communication for Pan Pacific in London. Awesome hotel. You know how much I love your hotel. So I will say because Michelle, she's a woman, I think she needs to have a little bit of priority if she's okay with you, Jay.
Go for it.
Perfect.
So Michelle, tell us a little bit about yourself, because we have unfortunately a very limited amount of time and there is so much that we need to cover.
Absolutely. Thanks, Angelo. Hello, everybody around the world. Delighted to be here. Very exciting career, and I feel so privileged because 25 years later, I'm still in luxury hospitality and travel. So I've managed to see some beautiful properties around the world. I've traveled to the most incredible countries. I've met the most incredible people, and I really, really am truly blessed. But at the end of the day, I am a Marcoms professional. So I look very much after the marketing side, the stratification, and also the all media communications. I have an integrated skill set with brand management, in-house experience, as well as on property. My career started back in South Africa at an incredible boutique PR and marketing agency, which specialized in luxury travel and hospitality, and that was Leslie Simpson Communications. And I do believe Leslie's on the call, so shout out to you, Les. I then moved to Belgium, where I headed up 4 brands for Marriott International. So looking very much after their signature lifestyle business and long stay portfolio. I then moved back here into London, looking after PR in an agency, working at a corporate level for Nero Hotels and Resorts, which is a luxury brand, and Corinthia Hotel, one of the 5-star flagships in London. And now I'm absolutely delighted to be part of the leadership team to have opened Pan Pacific London in London. And this is a Singaporean brand, not known in Europe. It's the flagship for the group with expansion plans into the rest of Europe. And Pan Pacific Hotels Group is very well known around Asia, Oceania, North America, with 50 hotels. So absolutely delighted to be steering this flagship here in London.
Now, I'm sure you guys gonna have a great success. I had the opportunity to visit your hotel, and I think it's fantastic. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be the pivot in downtown London. Is fantastic location. So you guys are very lucky.
Oh,
few consideration about how do you create a marketing plan for a brand, especially in a cultural environment like London. Well, that the things that you need to keep in your mind when you create a new brand or introducing a new brand in London?
Absolutely. I think, Angelo, it's not really about how do you create a marketing plan. A marketing plan has what it has. It has positioning statements and goals and objectives and target markets and all those good things. But I think you need to step back a little bit and say, okay, what do I have to do here differently that I might, do somewhere else in the world? And for me, it's really about three things that I always try and keep top of mind. And the first one is obviously to be sensitive to cultural components. I think we all understand that there's so many definitions of culture out there, but we really need to understand the attributes and the behaviors of people from different countries. And it's not just lip service anymore. You really, really need to deep dive and understand. It's not something you can pretend to do, because it will come out and it will show in everything you do moving forward. At the end of the day, education is key. Learning about other cultures allows you to develop this cultural sensitivity, which at the end of the day is simply caring for people. It's nothing more. But you need to really take the time and understand that and get yourself embedded in it. So I think sensitivity to cultural components is very key. I think also, and this goes back to echoing a lot of what people have said already on this panel, it's about storytelling. And that even needs to sit in your strategy. It's, storytelling, it's not cultural specific, it's universal, it's relatable. Particularly now in a digital world as well, storytelling is so important because it cuts through that digital noise much faster, and it's really, really key in any marketing strategy going forward. Marketing jargon sometimes does not connect with people. And I think if you bring across this creative, sincere narrative, it catches far more attention and it makes things meaningful and memorable. And I think that is really key here, is to be meaningful and memorable. And then I think the third point I would like to stress, and again, I think this goes back to what Daniel might have said earlier, authenticity. Things today need to be authentic. Global consumers can sniff out the fake stuff. Let's be honest, they're savvy. Especially now that we're going through generational changes as well. The younger generation in particular is a very savvy kind of person, and wearing a travel and hospitality hat is very transparent for us at the moment. If you think what Facebook launched 2004, give or take, Instagram 2010, I think it was, it was social media that propelled the word perfect. And they've done it very well. Everything on social media, driven by social media, had to be perfect. The picture had to be perfect. The setup had to be perfect. The comment had to be perfect. The commentary had to be perfect. But I was reading a Forbes article recently, and they've now actually literally published outside a social media remit that imperfect is the new perfect. And it's actually been benchmarked as a new advertising standard. And that just goes to show we need to be more authentic, be genuine, and I speak for myself because we invest lots of our budget into videography and photography, and oh my goodness, the flowers have to be perfect and the cushion has to be straight and the curtains are duct taped down so they're all nice and straight for the picture. It's not real. It's really, really not real. And marketers really need to say, you know what, we're living in a real world now, and even more so post-COVID, because things have changed. People's expectations have changed. And if we can just remember, be sensitive to that culture, look at storytelling and give an authentic narrative, I think you're on a really, really good journey to developing a great marketing strategy that's also going to appeal across cultures and globally.
Yeah, that brings me also to Jay, because Jay is a film director by vocation, and is also a musician, and is the CEO of Moving Bits, which is a creative agency. And I know that you guys are actually working together very closely, especially for the launch of Pan Pacific. So I would like to ask to Jay if he can further elaborate on what Michelle basically she just said, and which are the creative consideration in your job as a director, Jay?
I think Michelle is probably, and I'm not just saying this because she's on screen here, probably one of the best clients I've worked with, because I've ever worked with, because as she just said, she's really aware of what's going on. So, however, as Angelo pointed out, not everyone's Michelle. And I've had the opportunity, because I run my own agency, creative agency, and I've worked. We have a production office, head office in Singapore, and we have a marketing office in New York. I went to school partly in Singapore and partly in the USA, so I tend to have my feet on both sides, East and West, and it's a lot easier for me to cross the divide, because I've had this experience of living in both places. So when I'll just give you a little bit of my background first before I go into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my marketing agency has been around. Next year, May, will be 25 years now. And so we work for people like the Hilton, Universal Studios Singapore, Hong Kong Disneyland, Disney Plus, Pan Pacific Hotels Group, which is how I met Michelle, the Singapore University of Social Sciences. Shout out to Feng Ling, who actually introduced me to Jacqueline, who, as you all know, is the founder of this conference. I've worked for the World Bank, I've worked for the Smithsonian Channel, and currently TikTok. So because I'm so old, I'm a dinosaur, I've run the gamut. I have pitched and I've won and lost. Bear in mind, I have lost projects in both Asia, America, and Europe. So just to answer Angelo's question directly, and this is just straight ahead practical advice, and I think it's a cultural thing. If you're pitching in the West, I find, like in America, people get excited when you come to them with new, fresh ideas. Don't even bother talking about the budget, because they don't get excited by talking about budgets, because the first thing this is my experience from the West, will ask you, has someone else done this before? And if you say, oh yeah, someone's done it, but we can do it better, or we can do it cheaper, you're out of the room. Happened to me, true story. I was pitching to A&E, I think many of you may know A&E, a big cable network in the United States. And then on the eastern side, you just can't come in with a great, big, wonderful idea, because I think culturally, Asians tend to be a little bit more, I want to say, price conscious. It's not that they don't care about the idea, they do, but I think the Asians like to balance that out with the budget. And I'm sure Michelle has a lot of things to say on that, nice things and things that she's just had to navigate that. So she'd be the best person to ask that. So to answer that question, I would say if you are in a situation where you're in the East, Hong Kong, Singapore, Vietnam, I think you want to think about, when you pitch your idea, how to couch it in terms of, we can get this done because this is what it's going to take, but we can get this done. And you don't bang on the idea all the time. But on the flip side, especially if you're in America, you either go big or go home, as the Americans would love to say. So I think that's like real practical advice. And if you're working with someone who's from a different culture and you don't know them so well yet, I think it behooves you, like the interview Michelle and I did, I said, where you go learn a little bit about the culture, and again, so true, just caring for people. I mean, doesn't matter what skin color we are, if we're just real, and Raina said it earlier in the previous panel, you just be yourself, be authentic. I think every human in the world responds to that. And then it's a little bit easier. Yeah. I hope that answers the question, Angelo.
Yeah, no, it does. And this is nice, because actually there is something else that is popping up in my mind. For example, especially for the both of you, because you're working from, you said you have offices a little bit all around the world, and Michelle, she's based in London. When you guys are putting together a marketing strategy, for example, right? How much is important to keep a cultural sensitivity in place? How do you balance the two things? I mean, you're coming from
absolutely.
Asia, but you work for a European country and vice versa. How difficult it is to balance things out to make everybody happy?
I think it's more, Angelo, about education. I can use it as an example. You know, luxury, being a luxury property, is many different things to different people. And that means culturally as well. So what could be perceived as luxury in Asia is not necessarily translated as a luxury in London, as an example. So there's always a very, very big educational piece that always needs to be considered and always needs to be had. You know, I think also to support that is, for me, it's all in the detail. And poor Jay will tell you, a project that should have been 2 months stretched out to 7. Because it had to be right, it had to be perfect, it had to convey the positioning that we wanted. And if that means it takes longer, then so be it. You know, it's not about rushing, it's about having something that's, again, authentic and meaningful. It's about, and I always throw this around, for us, it wasn't about what's new, it's about what matters. And what people see from the brand out there really, really matters. So education is really important here. And then again, I think communication, because how do you communicate that across globally without stepping on toes, without causing any kind of, like, you know, sensitive moments? So that is really, really key. But I think also, we all know that culture is about beliefs and attitude and values and traditions, but there's also an expectation in communication context. And I think that's really, really important, because when dealing with different cultures, there's always that risk and impact of misunderstanding messages.
Absolutely.
And these can be amplified really, really easy. You know, we live in a world of speed now, and I am a culprit. I'm so busy trying to get a point across or to say something. I need to stop myself and step back and really read my content, because you need to stop. And is the person on the other side going to receive it in the manner and the sincerity that you're writing it or not? So it's really pulling yourself back a little bit. And, you know, to shortcut these circuits, you know, we as communicators need to be in that right mindset, be culturally sensitive, and be intentional when we're actually crafting that message. Because at the end of the day, it's about choice of words, you know, and how do we communicate?
Yeah. Yeah, and for you, Jay, your feeling is the same, and it works for you as well.
You know, if everyone were as advanced as Michelle in her thinking, again, I'm not saying this because she's sitting in front, I really mean this. So she told you a little bit about the video, which you'll see at the end of this.
Yeah.
I went from 2 months to 7 months, because I think she knew that I was sincere. I kept coming back to her and, like, you know, we can't really let this go yet. I'm really unhappy with it. She gave me the time to do what I needed to do, and that's just because she managed. Because she has bosses too. I mean, it's not like she owns the hotel and she does whatever the hell she wants. She doesn't. But I think for someone at her level, the ability to manage her bosses, and her bosses aren't all East or all West. They're a mixture of both, and she handled it well. No ruffle feathers. Everyone's cool. And then just between us, we worked at it. So the video you're going to see, which I think leads nicely into the video after this, because I think we're close to time. The video you're about to see is as much her work as is mine. I mean, I'm so proud of it. I can tell you, I said this to Michelle, if I could send her in advance on every video I did, because we do a lot of that, my life would be so easy. I mean, it's just planning ahead, number one, even though, or not even though, because you know there are going to be hiccups along the way because of the cross-cultural thing, and you know, communication sometimes gets lost in translation. Even though we all claim to speak English, sometimes the English gets mistranslated. Happens quite a bit. You might be surprised. And
no, I know for a fact.
Yeah. And because she had planned ahead, this is what I think, and I think she's just confirmed that if you plan ahead and you think ahead, you get time to get it right. And sometimes getting it right isn't. And she didn't scream at me. I'll tell you, Most times, if I did
was a
that,
little firm.
but it's like, there's a difference between, being straight with someone and telling them to their face without being abusive or condescending, which is even worse than being abusive. I'd rather you be abusive than condescending. But she wasn't, and we got it right. I mean, everyone I've shown it to loves it, and it blows them away. Both people here in Michelle's company, the Singaporean owners, as well as just general clients who see it and they're just blown away. So I think with that, that's kind of a nice segue into the film. Then after that, I want to tell you about the film after that, because Jacqueline has a wonderful student called Javier Piñero, who takes this wonderful photographs. He shot them during the pandemic. And what I decided to do, just to make it a little bit more impactful than just show slides of still photographs, we put that to music, and then we choreographed that motion graphic style, Kanban style, for those of you who like the documentaries. And I just want to shout out to Daniel Lombroso. I saw the film White Noise. It is freaking brilliant. And you should watch it if you haven't seen it. It's on Amazon Prime. So with that, I'm going to show you the film that Michelle and I made. And then following that, Javier's film with Javier's short little clip with the photographs that he's taken. So over to you.